guys, it's Arcade and I'm back with another tutorial. Today I'm gonna show you how to make music like Marshmello. And I got two examples that you heard in the preview. And I'm gonna show you how I made them, all the sounds I use, and all the effects and stuff like that. So yeah, let's get started with the first one, which is kind of a copy of Song Alone by Marshmello with few edits. And yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna show you first the build-up, which is not something I want to focus on. I want to focus on the drop. But in the build-up, it's really simple, just some claps. Just like basic clap sound and a little snare. And I have some EQ on it, just deleted the low frequencies, boosted the high frequencies. Yeah, and the clap is actually going to this mixer track, which is the send track. And what that does, you put some effects on the send track, and then you select one of your sounds in the mixer, like this clap, and you change this value, and basically that's how much it's going to be affected by the send track. And on the send track itself, I have a reverb, and that means if you change that value, the clap is also going to have some reverb. Yeah. Then we have these build-up drums from my sample pack. Just simple build-up drums, you can pretty much get them in any sample pack. Or you can create your own, but I didn't really want to spend time on that. But I do have a tutorial for that, and the link will be in the description, so check that out. Then we have a sweep. And I have the vocal from the original track Alone, just to add something to the build-up. And everything together sounds like this. Yeah, and right before the drop we have... This is the main sound pretty much, and it's reversed. The way I do that is I select the first note of the sound, and I just go to Edison and record it. You would just press this, record it. I already have it here. And you just drag it into your playlist. And since it's really short, you can double click it and reverse it. And if you want it to be longer, just change the time, just drag it out. And you also have to change the mode to generic. If you don't change the mode, it will change the pitch of the sound. So yeah, definitely change the mode as well. And that's a really simple effect. I always use that right before the drop. I mean, not always, but often. And I also have this little fill, just some snares going down in pitch. And that's pretty much it for the build-up. Didn't focus on that too much. I wanted to show you the drop. So let's get started with the drop. We're gonna start from the bottom with the bass sounds. So we have 3 layers of bass here, and we start with the sub bass. Really simple notes, just 4 different bass notes repeating all the time. And Marshmello likes to stick to the basics. Even the sounds are pretty basic, the chords are really basic, and it just works. So yeah. So this is the sub bass. I made it in Serum. Actually, you can see this preset in my previous tutorial on how to make future house bass. I showed you how to make the sub bass, and this is the sub bass from that tutorial. The only difference is that I changed the sustain to go all the way up, so it plays, it doesn't stop playing. So that's the sub bass. For effects, there are no effects on it other than through the limiter, which is there for compression, sidechain compression. So every time the kick hits, the bass gets lower in volume. Then we have this preset from Serum. which is a really strange one, but together with the main bass sound, it sounds pretty good. And this preset is just vowel waveform in oscillator A. It's this one, yeah. And then I put the distortion and downsample, put the drive around here, and also enable the filter. And that's pretty much it. Really basic sound. Doesn't sound good on its own, but with the bass it's kind of a nice filler. This is the main bass. It's the default bass from Nexus called Big Bad. And yeah, effects on this bass are pretty important. So I have done channel 6 here, but it's also routed to channel 7. And for the effects, I just mess around with the EQ here a little bit. Nothing important, but here I just deleted all the low frequencies because we have the sub bass for that, and boosted the high frequencies, and also boosted around 2000. We found that it would sound like this, but with the effects, much crispier bass, and that's what we want. And same goes for this sound. Just deleted a lot of low frequencies. Even in the middle I deleted the frequencies and boosted the high frequencies. And all three sounds together sound like this. So we got the sub bass for the low frequencies, this sound to fill out some gaps, and this main sound for the high frequencies and mid frequencies. And yeah, together it's a really nice sound. Really simple one, and works really well in the song. And also all these sounds are sidechained, so every time the kick hits, they get lower. The volume of the sound gets lower. And I also put a sound goodizer on it, just to give it an extra push. So yeah, that's it for the bass. Really simple, 4 different keys. Repeats throughout the whole drop. And then I'm gonna show you the leads. So here I am using Nexus. For the first sound, I have preset from House Volume 3 Square Lead. So yeah, one thing I changed is I put the sustain all the way down, and the decay is around -70. So instead of a lead, we have more of a plaque, and that's what we want to use for this song. And for the effects, we have a sound goodizer again. A lot of people hate it, but I think it just kind of makes the sound a little more alive, so I often use it. We have a FabFilter Saturn. We have to wait for it to load. Okay, here it is. And what I did here is just boosted the frequencies around mid to high frequencies. Yeah, without it sounds like this. With it it's like this. It's more fatter sound and works pretty well. I also wanted to use some reverb here, but decided not to, because there's already some delay from the actual preset in Nexus. And yeah, also I used the EQ, deleted the low frequencies, obviously we don't need them for lead, and boosted the high frequencies. So yeah, boosting the high frequencies in almost all the sounds here seems to work pretty well. And also it's sidechained, so every time the kick hits, this sound gets lower. Not much lower though, It's only a little bit of sidechain compression. And the next sound, the next layer of the sound is this one. Also from Nexus, from the default sound, classical guitar fuzz 2. And I lowered the sustain again and the decay as well. So we really get this clicky sound. And together they sound like this. Same effects for both layers. And yeah, that's the bass and the lead. And together they sound like this. So yes, pretty much sticking to basics. Like even these sounds are really simple, just like a square lead. Really simple sounds and just making a great song when they play at the same time. And for the melody, I just created this really fast. And I find that for this specific sound, the best way you can do a melody is just put the notes one after another without like any gaps between them. This sound just works better with when one note is going after another. Of course, you can experiment and do different sounds and different melodies. And yeah, and so we have the bass, we have the lead, and the only thing left is the drums. And they are pretty basic as well. So let's start with the kick. For the kick I have a layer of 2 kicks. The first one is from Kashmir, from his pack. So it's this more deep kick. And then I have this more, one that has more higher frequencies. And together they sound like this. So what I did here, I put them both on track number 1, which is kind of strange to do, just combining 2 kicks in one channel. But it kind of worked. I put some EQ on it. Doesn't make big difference, but yeah, I mean it's pretty big difference actually. So I deleted the high frequencies because I wanted this kick to be more deep, and that's why I deleted the high frequencies. Boosted around 215 and lowered around 3000. Just felt like doing that. Nothing, no reason why. Just like messed around with it, and this seemed to work the best for the sound of the kick. And then I have compression here, and this is a really strange compression. I just kind of tweak all the parameters until I got the sound I wanted. So I'm not really sure how to explain it there. But I aimed for a specific sound in my head, and yeah, I just played the kick and changed the parameters until it sounded the way I wanted to sound. I also put the sound geyser in there. Yeah, the sound geyser just also compresses the kick even more. So this kick is pretty over-compressed and whatnot, but it sounds good in the end, and that's what is important to me. So yeah, I really wanted this kick to be as loud as possible in the mix. And as you can see here, this kick is routed to all these tracks, and that's what the sidechain compression is. The fruity limiter is controlled by the kick. So yeah, it has the kick here. Then we have these hats. I have this one, and then this ride. And they are on mix track 11, which has no effect on it, but it also goes to the send channel here, so it gets some reverb from there. And then we have the clap and the snare. And yeah, I just deleted low frequencies and boosted the high frequencies. It's the same clap from the build-up, which also goes to the send channel. And then we have the snare, which is kind of funny because I accidentally put it on track 9, which is the track for the leads, but it just sounded good on there, so I left it there. Otherwise, this is the sound. And when you put it on track 9, which is not supposed to be for the snare, but it kind of creates the snare I was looking for, so I just let it be there. And then we have this crash, which I just lowered the low frequencies and EQ'd around 2600, just lower there. And also put a lot of reverb on it and changed the tri signal a little bit because I didn't want this crash to be like too loud or something. So it's just like there in the background. And then for the melodies, I just stick with the same melody almost, but at the end it changes a little bit. So we have some sort of variation. And the second part of drop is really changing in the rhythm. So yeah, for the second part I added the vocals. Which I'm gonna show you how I made. So 3 different vocals, and I recorded the first one. And really what you wanna do is just open new Harmor plugin, and you just drag the vocal into the image section. So you go to image section, just drag the vocal, whatever you have, in here, and you can then play it. If you don't have Harmor, you can still do this, and the tutorial for that will be also in the description. And also I enabled the envelope and put attack all the way down, sustain all the way down, release as well, and just change the decay, and that's gonna, based on the decay, that's how long the note is going to play. And I wanted kind of a plucky vocal type, so that's why we have this short decay. Then we have this vocal, exactly the same thing, just put it here, envelope, but I put a different vocal there. So yeah, I have 3 different vocals, and I just experimented, put different vocals on there until it sounded pretty good. One more thing is I enabled the portamento, so 2 notes cannot play at the same time. And for the effects, I just lowered the low frequencies, even lowered around mid frequencies or low mids, and boosted the high frequencies a little bit. And you know, as EQ goes, you just do whatever is right for the sound you are working on. So it's never the same thing. Without EQ it sounds like this. With the EQ it sounds like this. So there is a lot of low frequencies that you really don't need in the mix, and that's why you always cut them off. I also put a bunch of reverb on it, like this. And sound good is here again. I guess I'm using that too much, but whatever. It sounds good. That's for the vocals. For the drums, we have this hi-hat. Simple hi-hat. Just fill all the notes right here. And then the drum rhythm changed. The actual kick didn't change, but the rhythm is like this. And we also have the right following the same rhythm and the clap, which doesn't follow the rhythm, it just goes on each note. And it sounds like this. And that's pretty much it for this project. And now I'm gonna show you how you can edit few things and create a whole new project from that. So I'm gonna load the new project right now and I'll be right back. So here we are in the next project, which is inspired by the Keep It Mellow song. Almost the same apart from a few melodies. And here's what we did with this one. The build-up stays the same. And here's how it sounds. So yeah, for this project, almost everything stays the same, similar sounds. One thing that changed is the bass. So we have the sub bass, same as before. But then we have also this one, but I just lowered it a lot more. For this project, we don't really need this one, but I just kept it there. But then we have this bass from Nexus. And now we don't have the notes one after another, we just have long notes. And yeah, it's the default preset, basic so. Really basic. And we have this one as well from Serum, which is also just pretty much a saw wave. And what I did is enable the bend right here and just change the LFO, put it on the bend, so it kind of changes the sound as it goes a little bit, so we have some variation. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Sustain all the way up, just basic saw wave. Just initialize the preset, change the bend, and you pretty much get that same sound. But for the effects on this one, I completely removed almost all the frequencies. I only left the higher frequencies in. So I just cut all the low and mid frequencies, because this one just kind of serves as a filler to the one from Nexus. If you want, you can just have this one as the main sound. But this one from Nexus has kind of a different color to it. And for the effects for the Nexus bass, we have Sound Goodizer, and we have a lot of EQing here. So before it sounded like this, and after the EQ it sounds like this. So I wanted something more subtle, not as loud. And we deleted all the low frequencies, of course, because we have the sub bass already. And just lowered the mid frequencies and the high frequencies, because we have the filler for the high frequencies anyways. And together they sound like this. So yeah, as I mentioned before, Marshmello just sticks to the basics. Like, these are some really basic sounds. Simple sub bass and a saw wave. And that's pretty much what he uses in his music as well. Then for the vocal, I just changed the melody, kept the vocals same from the previous one. One thing I changed though is I added more reverb to it. And And yeah, that's pretty much it. I just added more reverb since the notes are far apart from each other. It seemed like it sounds better. And the drums stay the same. The sound of the drums stays the same, but the rhythm changes a little bit. It goes like this now. So yeah, just change the kick. That's all. Just change the rhythm of the kick. And that's pretty much all I changed. And I also added this arpeggio. Which I control the cutoff. So it slowly gets louder. And yeah, that's a preset from Cymatics. Just simple lead. And I have a bunch of reverb on it, sound goodizer, and fruity stereo shaper, so we get that stereo sound. That sounds just way better. Like without it, it sounds like this. And with it, yeah, it's just more stereo. That's it. And that's pretty much all I did as far as the changes go. And we have a completely new song, pretty much. Yeah, so thank you for watching. Hopefully this was helpful and you learned something new. I spent quite a lot of time just remaking this song. Even though it uses some basic sounds and stuff, I still had to figure out what they are. So hopefully you like this video and give it a thumbs up if you do. And if you want, you can also download the project files. The links are in the description. And so are all the tutorials I mentioned in this tutorial. They are linked in the description as well. So yeah, thank you for watching and goodbye.